What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news video on this Tuesday. Um, Before we get into it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are gonna talk about, as you can see on the thumbnail, McKennie Paredes. That's not true. It's McKennie and the pole. I mix those two up. I don't know why. But that's the main topic because there's still a transfer season going ahead. Not sure if we are gonna be active in it, and I will go over it. The chances are growing slimmer by the day, I would say. But it's something to keep an eye on in a very important week because we play Napoli away from home to make it a title race or make it a top four race. It's one of the two on Friday. So it's a big week, a big week for us. We will go over that in the course of the week. Injuries, players coming back, basically no one coming back. But yeah, you need to deal with it. I guess that's how it is. That's how the season is going for us. But nothing to do about it at this moment in time. Besides, and I will go into it, not doing certain deals. That's what I'm gonna say. But we start off with today's news. First of all, with the poll, and I will go straight to the McKennie one because it's kind of linked. So it's from Daniele Longo, who I thought he was pretty good 2 years ago. He's not as much, but his name, the poll's name, is out there. So I thought I'm gonna bring it up. Also because we were genuinely interested in him before he went to Atletico, and with this club, as has been proven, we like to go back for old targets or old players in terms of ex-players, not really old, or maybe not. But that's from Daniele Longo, excuse me, and he says Juve won the poll. The valuation is around 36 million, but the Bianconeri could consider a temporary acquisition and then only try to define a permanent stay next summer. Now I will go straight to the McKennie news because it's linked in my opinion. It's from Sky Italia saying McKennie is leaving Juve in the January transfer market. They have decided to sacrifice a midfielder to finance an incoming signing. An alternative Quadrado is needed. Several Premier League clubs have expressed interest in McKennie, Aston Villa and Bournemouth. Now, those are the two stories. So McKennie and the poll. Those are the main topics from today's video. Actually, a lot to digest. First of all, the poll. Let me go back to that part of the news. 36 million. That's never gonna happen. We are not gonna pay 36 million for the poll. They do need money, Atletico Madrid. I get that. They're loaning out Joao Felix for 10 million until the end of the season, which still sounds very strange. Chelsea are doing that deal, just a loan, 10 million, no option apparently. But they do need money. That doesn't mean we are going to hand them the money. We're not going to pay 36. We weren't even willing to pay that much when he was actually firing on all cylinders at Udinese. We were not going to meet those demands at that moment in time. So let alone 2 years in his Atletico stay. And he actually declined. He declined. He's not the same player anymore as a lot of players are under Simeone. We're not going to pay that money. Are they going to loan him out to us on a free? Or not on a free, on a cheap loan? I don't think so. They got Felix out. He was a big guy to get out for a few months. And they'll probably move him out completely in the summer. And that's the way they're going. I don't think we are in for the poll. I just don't think. Also, the McKennie story, which is linked, I will still be shocked if we sell him. I will, because the club's interested in him. Aston Villa and Bournemouth, he's not going to accept that. I think that's pretty obvious now. The story also went on saying he hopes that Dortmund come into the mix again because he wants to go to the top club. He wants to play at a bigger stage in terms of a bigger club, not the Premier League. And I kind of respect him for that. He values himself better than Bournemouth, Aston Villa, which I think is, fair to do. But at this moment in time, those are the teams who are going to make an offer or actually very interesting for January. That's why I still believe it's going to be something for the summer, in my opinion. You never know. You know, maybe he wakes up a day and he says, I will play under Unai Emery for Aston Villa. I don't know. At this moment in time, I just find it very hard to believe. I do. Excuse me. I just find it very hard to believe. Also because of the better source, like the news always ends with he wants a top club, and then Dortmund comes in the mix, and they are interested but not really 100% in for it, if you know what I mean. So I struggle to believe it. I do. Now, if he's gonna leave, we're not gonna get a midfielder. I don't even think we're gonna get a replacement for Cuadrado, because yes, he's injured and he's not playing well and all those things, but he's coming back from injury. He's gonna be there. I don't think losing a midfielder and bringing in probably a right back is what the club is willing to do now. I think you're just gonna stay at this moment like this. I actually thought someone was going to come in. I believe that we're gonna move someone else on, and that player being McKennie. But at this moment in time, you know, the 10th of January, I'm not so sure anymore. I'm absolutely not so sure anymore. I would sell McKennie. I have no problem with that for a good price. Get our money back, because I'm not a fan of McKennie. He's not a bad player, but he's just not my cup of tea. But I would advise the club, or like I would spend the money very wisely. Don't do any panic buys. Don't waste a single euro, because we're gonna need, you know, each of them. Like every single euro cent we're gonna need. So let's see how that will go. But it's kind of heating up with McKennie leaving a little bit, day by day. It's heating up. So let's see again. Last January, it all happened basically in the last week. Vlahovic, Zakaria, it happened in the last week. Betancourt, Kulusevski, it was all madness. That went down basically at the end. So you never know. But as of now, it's very much suggesting and kind of guessing and all those things. But let's see how it will go. Those are the names coming up way too often to think there's absolutely nothing in it, basically. But let's see. Now we move on to two other stories who, in my opinion, are also linked. It's Rugani and Smalling. So Romeo saying several inquiries in recent days for Rugani, also from abroad. But Juve are not open to a winter departure, also because of Bonucci's condition, struggling with several stoppages, injuries during the season. And then Sky Italia saying Juve has acquired about Chris Smalling, expiring in June 23, but Roma's priority at the moment is to renew the English defender's contract. Now, also Rugani's agent spoke, the usual stuff. He does an interview, he gets asked to do his interview by the same people every single month, every time he plays. And every time he says the same thing. He's a great player, he deserves to be there, the club loves him, blah, blah, blah. The club tried to move him on several times. They sold him, they loaned him out, they tried to push. He's there by default because he's on ridiculous wages, 3.5, and no other sane club is going to pay him 3.5. That's why he's at the club. His agent can come out whatever he wants, whenever he wants, say whatever he wants. Allegri can do that. The club has proven they are trying to push him out. They actually got him out for once, and he just ended up coming back. So that's that. So forget about what his agent said. It's all, you know, to get fans all pissed every time he plays. You know, his agent comes out there and says some ridiculous stuff. Now, I do agree, don't let him go, because Bonucci is not to be trusted injury-wise. We play with a back three. Gatti is not 100%. Bremer already, you know, was at risk and had a small injury. So you're going to need him. I get that. 100%. In the summer, goodbye. Move on. You need to move on from these players the moment you get a chance, because it's a 1-year deal. You never know what's coming out of the bus. Maybe you can move him on, and he's gone, done. For Chris Smalling, same thing. Don't look at him. Just move on. If let him extend with Roma. That's not the players we need. We need a player who can start and play alongside Bremer for the coming, I don't know how many years. That's what we need. Our starting, because I don't believe we're gonna go with that 3-5-2 forever. It's just something to get us over the difficult period now. That's what I actually believe. But We need better, and that doesn't include Smalling, who actually is pretty good. But his age, that's not the profile we should be looking at. So I struggle also to believe that. We need something completely different. I don't know what it is, but the answer is not Chris Smalling or Daniele Rugani or keeping Bonucci or handing Alexandro another year on his deal and playing center back in a back three, whatever. Those are not the answers. Like, that's short term fixes with players who have proven to not to be trusted. You know, I don't really care they have a good period this season. What about the last 3 years? Like with Rabiot, great, help us out, but I don't really care. Like, you stung out the place for 3 seasons, you're on too much money, it's done. That goes for me. The same for Alexandro, Rugani, Bonucci, all those players. Like Danilo, the news comes out yesterday that he's gonna get a new deal. I'm fine with that. And then I read 26. I think that's way too much. Just my personal opinion. Maybe 1+1 extension. All those things. You need to keep these things in your control, because we have seen that you need to have these things into control. Because look at the mess we are in now. You know, players on big wages we cannot get rid of, injury prone, not playing well the moment they get older. And I'm just scared they're gonna do the same mistakes in certain areas. But let's wait and see. I guess, you know, because we weren't expecting to lose the league and get Bremer at this moment in time. Like, let's say February, that will be the league is gonna stay, Bremer is going to Inter, all those things. So things can change really quickly, of course. But as of now, I agree. Don't let Rugani go in January, but in the summer he needs out. Same as Bonucci, basically. And I know they're not gonna all leave, like, because you it's impossible to replace them all. But the more you can get out, the better. You know, they've been here for a long. Some even left the club, came back on loan, got a new deal, all that mess. It all happened for a reason, in my opinion. They're not good enough. They're never gonna be good enough anymore, and they're just costing you money at this point. You know, 1, 2, 3 good games every now and then. That's not what we're paying, or what a top club should be paying their players for. Not any club, basically, but that happens in relegation sides. You know, you have a lot of average players. But whatever. That's it. That's it for today. Let's see how things will go towards maybe in a week or so. If there's nothing really, how do you want to say that, really concrete to go about, then yeah, probably we're gonna stay like this. But yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join us today for the live. We're gonna get into the Napoli game a little bit more. Wednesday as well, Thursday preview, Friday the big game as always. So yeah, like the video, subscribe, and we will see you back tonight. Ciao.